Hi everybody, welcome to the October 17th Ottawa Swordplay online drill class. I'm Craig, I'm the head instructor at Ottawa Swordplay, and today we're going to be working on some less common techniques. There's going to be some disarms and related types of techniques. But first we're going to start with some of our foundation actions, as we always do. I will mention that for one of the things I'm demonstrating, it's actually a sword and buckler technique. So you don't need a buckler to practice it, but if you have one, you may want to have it to use. So we're going to start with our foot rotations. So feet about shoulder width apart, weight on the balls of your feet and rotate to one side, and then we're going to go to the other side and back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, and then we're going to do our thumb grip flip. So we're going to start in a handshake grip, sword out to the side, keep your shoulder and elbow relaxed if you can, as much just with the hand as possible, flip up into the thumb grip, and then back down. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, and we're going to switch to the other hand and do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Next, we're going to do our rotator cuff exercise, and I'm going to start with my left hand. So you want to hold the sword in a reversed grip so that your thumb is pointed away from the blade, and keep your upper arm parallel to the floor and your sword parallel to that as well. And then I'm going to rotate down and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I start with my left hand because I'm having a bit of trouble with my right shoulder. You should do the same thing on the other side, but I'm going to do a variation where I'm going to hold the sword upright, rotate out to the side and back in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So just a quick reminder that all of these exercises are intended to help reduce the likelihood and severity of injuries that we might get, especially strains and stuff. So if any of them are ever causing you pain, then you should not do that one. We want to feel a bit of strain on there, like we want to feel that we're working things, but we don't want to injure ourselves. All right, and of course we're going to do our windshield wiper. So you're going to hold the sword in the thumb grip, and I'm going to rotate it to the outside, and we will switch back and forth from half swording to not. So I'm starting it in a long grip, rotate up into half swording, and then back to the long grip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, and then we're going to switch to the other hand, and with the left hand, I'm not going to do the half swording version. I'll start at the outside, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Now, the next one we're going to do is a foundation action that we haven't been doing because it's actually not a sword foundation action usually. And the most common place we use this is a dagger defense technique, but it's using an empty hand. So you can put your sword aside or just hold it in the hand that you're not using. We're going to do this with both hands, and I'm going to start with my left. Now, to begin with, I want you to have your hand low, either on your belly or at your hip, somewhere down here like this. And the first part of this action is I'm going to rotate my hand so my palm is away and bring it up just above shoulder height like that. And then I'm going to rotate my hand back into a fist and pull it back to my hip. Now, we want to do this one slowly and with control, again, so that you're not putting a lot of force going out, which you're then having to stop, which adds strain, but also we want to make sure that we're doing this right. And one little detail, I'm going to come close to the camera. Anytime my hand is going away from me, I'm keeping my fingers and thumbs close together like this. I'm not spreading them out, and I'm not grabbing at things usually. All right, so we're going to start with the hand at the hip and extend, pull back, extend, pull back, extend, pull back, extend, pull back, extend, pull back. That's 5. Extend, pull back, extend, pull back. 3 more. Extend, pull back, extend, pull back, extend, pull back. All right, we're going to do the same thing with the other hand. I started with the left, now I'm going to the right. Doesn't matter what order we're going to do. So we're going to start at the hip and extend, pull back, extend, pull back, extend, pull back, extend, pull back, extend, pull back. That's 5. Extend, pull back, extend, pull back. 3 more. Extend, pull back, extend, pull back. Last one. Done. All right, so I sometimes refer to this as the Ottawa Swordplay high five, because we can go up and high five our partner and then pull the hand back to the hip. We use it for a lot of different things, which we'll see as we move forward with this class, but first we're going to do some footwork. And we're going to start with just some simple passing steps. We're not going to do anything super complicated today. So I'm going to start over here, and I'm starting left foot forward. Doesn't really matter because we're just going to be passing each step, but I'm going to do that. Rotate on the balls of my feet, pass forward. Rotate on the balls of my feet, pass forward. If you run out of space, of course, just turn around and keep going the other way. Rotate, pass, rotate, pass, rotate, pass, rotate, pass, rotate, pass. All right, now from here, I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to go backwards though. So I'm going to rotate on the balls of my feet in the exact same way, and then pass back. As we're doing this, try and keep your weight centered over your feet so that you're theoretically able to move in either direction, forwards or backwards. Rotate, pass, rotate, pass, rotate, pass, rotate, pass, rotate, pass, rotate, pass. All right, and now of course, we're going to do the 2 steps forward, 1 step back version of this. This time, if you run out of space, start doing 2 back, 1 forward, and yeah, just use the room that you've got. So, rotate, forward, rotate, forward, rotate, back, 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 rotate, forward, rotate, forward, rotate, back. All right, good. Now, for our techniques, we're going to start with our Solon Hao or Ober Hao, depending upon how you want to look at it, our basic strike off of the shoulder. And we are going to break this down into sections. And again, don't overexert the power level, which will cause strain. So we're going to start in the tower guard. I'm left foot forward, sword at my right shoulder, and with my right hand I'm going to drive the extension forward, so my pommel's pointed out past my left hip, and my point is pointed at my opponent's face. And we're going to reset. And extend, reset, extend, reset, extend, reset, extend, reset, extend, reset, extend, reset. 2 more. Extend, reset, extend, reset. All right. so now we're going to put in the rotate on the balls of the feet with the hip change and the step. So we'll be doing the extension, rotating the feet, and pass forward. And then we'll reset. And we'll do 10 of these. Extend, rotate, step, reset, 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 extend, rotate, step, that's 6, extend, rotate, step, 3 more, extend, rotate, step, 2 more, extend, rotate, step, last one, extend, rotate, step. All right, now, the next technique that we're going to do involves doing a weapon grab. And this technique I actually found in Fiore, in Fiore's manuscripts, and I personally believe that this is a technique that Fiore liked to use against people who fought using Lichtenauer's principles of staying at the bind most of the time. And I'm going to get Matthew to come out and hold a long spear. We're not going to close into distance, but I just want to demonstrate how this technique actually works. So if we imagine that Matthew has attacked, I'm going to get you to hold it the other way actually, as though, yeah, like this. And so I'm doing my Zornhaus, and I'm extending, rotating, and stepping, and now we're at the bind. And it could be I came to the bind first or he does, but we're not going anywhere. I'm now going to let go of my pommel and reach forward like this, and I will end up grabbing the spear, but my initial action is to use the flat of my palm, and then I grab it there. So we're going to start just with that part of it, and of course you can do it to the air since you don't have Matthew with a spear here, but it's going to be extend, rotate, step, grab. Reset, extend, rotate, step, grab. Reset, extend, rotate, step, grab. We'll just do 2 more of these like this. Extend, rotate, step, grab, and reset, extend, rotate, step, grab. Now the second part of this is that we're going to do that pull, and it's not going to go exactly back to the hip, but it's going to go close. But there's a second action that comes with our other hand, where I'm going to rotate my left hand down and towards my hip, and I'm going to step forward, and I'm rotating my sword up, all right? Now Matthew and I are going to turn a little bit more online with the camera here, so that you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. So I'm extending, rotate, step, grab, and now my arms are rotating together, kind of like they're one big gear turning around. All right, so I'll try and count to 10. Extend, rotate, step, grab, rotate, step. Reset, extend, rotate, step, grab, rotate, step. Reset, extend, rotate, step, grab, rotate, step. Extend, rotate, step, grab, rotate, step. I've already lost count. Extend, rotate, step, grab, rotate, step. That's 5. Extend, rotate, step, grab, rotate, step. 6. Extend, rotate, step, grab, rotate, step. 7. Extend, rotate, step, grab, rotate, step. 8. Extend, rotate, step, grab, rotate, step. 9. Extend, rotate, step, grab, rotate, step. Probably not useful that I'm using rotate for feet and then rotate for the arms, but it's about on par with the original source's consistency of terminology. All right, so that is a fairly simple version it's not a disarm, I'm grabbing my opponent's weapon to control it. And I should mention at this point, people are always surprised that we would grab somebody else's sword, but we do. And Matthew's walking away now, and I want him to come back for the next thing in a moment here. There are a surprising number of techniques where we grab not just our own sword, but our opponent's sword. I don't recommend you try that with a sharp sword at home. There are tons of videos of people doing it with sharp swords though, so if you're interested, you can see that. All right, so the next one that we're going to look at is kind of the next step in, where our opponent has given us opposition, so we're going through with our pommel. Now I could start with the Zornhau and build up to it, or I could just start from the bind in sort of the same place where I was about to do the grab. So we're crossed here, and I'm going to give myself a fair amount of distance for that. And if Matthew pushes on my sword, I'm going to bring my pommel forward as normal, step through, grab here. All right, so I'm grabbing his weapon underneath, and then I would pull it back to my hip. But we're mostly just going to work on the grab today. So starting in the Beauregard, as though you're at the bind, and imagine somebody's pushing on your weapon, pommel forward, rotate, pass forward, grab. All right, and reset, and pommel forward, rotate the feet, step through, grab. I do want to point out I'm grabbing underneath my sword when I do that. So Matthew pushes, pommel forward, rotate, step through. I'm reaching under the arch of my sword and grab. All right, reset, pommel forward, rotate the feet, step through, grab. 3 more. Pommel forward, rotate the feet, step through, grab, reset, pommel forward, rotate the feet, step through, grab. Last one, pommel forward, rotate the feet, step through, grab. All right, now this type of technique is a thing that we see frequently across different kinds of weapons and in different situations. And I'm just realizing too, I did that going through from one side. I want to do it from the other side, and then we'll talk about other weapons. So this time I'm going to get Matthew to switch to our more common spear grip, and I'm going to be crossed on this side. Now, when I did the one on the other side, I went through and I let go with my upper hand to grab. I should have been more explicit about that. This time, as I go through, I'm going to step and I'm letting go of the pommel hand. And I always want to use the hand that is nearest under the sword. I can't really reach through on this side. All right, so we're going to start at that bind, and Matthew's going to push, pommel forward, rotate, step, grab. Reset, 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 pommel forward, rotate, step, grab. We'll do 3 more. Pommel forward, rotate, step, grab. Pommel forward, rotate, step, grab. Last one. Pommel forward, rotate, step, grab. I'm getting ahead of myself a bit on the action. I'm eager to go ahead. Now, I will mention that when I'm going through on this side and hanging on to the pommel, it's hard for me to then use my sword effectively from here. When I go through on this side and I'm letting go of the pommel, it's much easier for me to then follow up with my weapon. But they are essentially the same technique. All right. The next one we're going to do is actually a sword and buckler technique. As I said, if you don't have a buckler, you don't need one, but I will get one to demonstrate here. And normally we would do this with an arming sword. And this technique comes from the Walpurgis manuscript, which is older than the Lichtenauer sources, but probably related. This technique is used specifically against somebody who's holding their sword extended pointed at you. So Matthew's just gonna hold the spear out straight, pointed towards me, like so. Now, I'm gonna stand right foot forward with the sword tucked under my left arm and my buckler right here. And there's a lot of debate about this particular position, but for this technique, you need to actually have your sword tucked above your elbow here. If it's under here, it won't work, all right? So what I'm gonna do is that same grab, but as I bring my sword forward, I'm gonna drop the flat into my buckler hand so that I can grab it and then grab the same way. So it's the same basic idea. Now I'm not taking any kind of a step. I'm just going here, grab, and then I would pull, trying to get the weapon away from the other person. I'll also mention when I'm grabbing a sword, I want to hit against the flat, and then I like to put my thumb along the flat if I can. It just helps control it and makes it less likely that the other person can slide the weapon through my hands, which would be a bad thing. So, holding your sword, drop it into the buckler hand, grab. Reset, sword into the buckler, 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 grab. And I'm just going to do this in one-word calls. Grab, grab, grab. Oh, terrible. That time I would die. 2 more. Oh, I batted it away. So, couple of last things about this. While this is a risky technique and the distancing is careful, one of the things that makes this work is if the person's standing there with their sword extended towards you, it's actually hard for them to move towards you anymore. They have to use their feet, which makes them slow, which means that I can do quick things at that distance faster than they can stab me, usually. All right, now, before we do the next technique, we're gonna do another kind of strange foundation action. And this does not have a name in our sources, but it's a lot like paddling a kayak. So we're gonna hold our sword in a half-swording position. And again, it doesn't matter which foot you start with forward because we're gonna be doing passing steps. So here what I'm gonna do is, I'm in half-swording, today I'm pommel forward, and I'm going to drive my rear hand down and forward. I'm gonna rotate on the balls of my feet and then bring that hand back up as I pass forward. So rotate down, rotate the feet, pass forward. Rotate down, rotate the feet, pass forward. So I'm gonna reset, and I'm gonna do this across the room. If you run out of space, turn around and go back the other way. So from half sorting, rotate down, rotate the feet, pass forward. 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 All right, so there's a bunch of places, especially in armored combat, where we use that kind of action, stuff with half sorting. But there's another particular place, which is a disarm when you are unarmed. And this is tricky, there's no question about it, but we're going to give it a go. I used to tell people that this technique is impossible, almost impossible, but it's better than having nothing to even try if somebody's attacking you with a weapon and you have nothing. And then I practiced it for a decade, and now I can do it. So, it is actually possible and reasonable if you're putting in the time. Now, the first thing for this, I'm gonna stand right foot forward and assume that I'm facing a right-handed opponent. Matthew's gonna hold the spear as though it's a sword, and I'm gonna actually get him to do strikes as though he's using the sword against me, coming in diagonally, boom, towards my head here. The other thing is I'm going to hold my hand in a position we call Schlussel. So I'm going to put my right hand on the back of my left hand and knees slightly bent, and I'm facing towards Matthew. Now, as that strike comes in, I'm going to extend with my hand, and I need to come underneath to catch that flat, the way that I've talked about. But I'm also going to step forward and to the side. Then I'm going to grab the weapon there and bring my other hand up, and I'm going to do that rotate and drive through. And I'm going to pull Matthew a little bit on screen. So when I'm here, as I'm driving the spear point end down, I'm trying to drive the spear up between the middle of his hands so that it pops out of the gates of both his hands. I shouldn't get that close to step back. All right, so we're going to start in Schlussel, right foot forward. The attack comes in, block and step, grab, rotate up, step through. All right, so we're going to do that 10 times. So block and step, grab, rotate through, step. Reset. Schlussel, block and step, grab, rotate up, step through. Reset. Block and step, grab, rotate up, step through. Reset. Block and step, grab, rotate up, step through. Reset. Block and grab, rotate up, step through. Start block and step. Block and step, grab, rotate up, step through. We'll do 3 more of these. Block and step, grab, rotate up, step through. Block and step, grab, rotate up, step through. 1 more. Block and step, grab, rotate up, step through. All right. If we were able to get in and do close wrestling, there's a whole bunch more places where this action or variations of it become used over and over again. And this particular thing is something that I honestly just do when I'm at home wandering around. I practice that all the time because it has so many applications. If you get good at that action, when you find a place where it's applicable, you're already good at the technique. All right, that's it for me for